Physicians recommended water for a wide range of medical purposes. You could swim in it, bathe in it, or drink it. There were vapour baths, mineral baths, salt baths, and plunge baths. St Bernard's Well can be found on the Water of Leith, between Dean Village and Stockbridge. This natural spring was discovered in 1760 and rapidly became popular with citizens of Edinburgh suffering from a variety of medical conditions. The foul-tasting, sulphurous water was claimed to be a cure for all manner of ailments, from general aches and pains to blindness. The building in the form of an ancient Greek temple that now sits over the well was built in 1789. It surrounds a statue of Hygeia, the Greek goddess of health. Springs and spas were popular across Europe at this time for the medicinal properties that their water supposedly contained, whether drunk or bathed in. For the wealthy and fashionable, this could involve trips to areas such as Bath or Leamington Spa, or overseas to the thermal springs of Switzerland and Germany. Many of these sites had previously been identified as holy wells or sites of spiritual healing. With the rise of Protestantism, healing by religious authorities became healing by medical ones. Health spas, as a result, were much more common in Protestant countries than in Catholic ones. Because there was so much money to be made off these spas, there was much rivalry between them about whose water was best. The spa business was both very commercial and very competitive, with towns such as Brighton, Buxton, Harrogate and Scarborough competing with one another for primacy. Scotland was not immune to such a business opportunity either, and major spas were set up in Aberdeen, in Fife, Rossshire and on Broughton Street in Edinburgh's New Town.
Seafield baths here in Leith were opened in 1813. They were filled with salt water from the nearby Leith Harbour. For the less well-off, you would often have tubs in their own homes for bathing, or they would bathe in the water of Leith and Leith Harbour, although as one Edinburgh doctor pointed out, drowning would often result.
Outdoor baths or safety baths were common in the mid-1800s. These were an enclosed area of river or harbour where bathers could swim without risk of being carried away by a current. In the 1700s and 1800s, bathing huts or bathing machines were also popular and could be seen in sites around Edinburgh, including Portobello. These were wooden carts which allowed people to change into their bathing suits inside in privacy, and then they were rolled out into the sea, so as few people as possible would see you in your bathing suit.
Warrender baths were established here in Marchmont in the 1880s. They were established essentially by private enterprise. Local residents clubbed together, commissioned an architect and paid for the building.
The emphasis was on fitness and leisure rather than on promoting cleanliness and hygiene. Private baths such as this were more akin to private member clubs than modern-day swimming pools. A Turkish Bath, opened in 1861 at 90 Princes Street, occupied a similar role with a billiard room, music room, reading room and lounge area. Using its facilities according to its promotional material could cure influenza, bronchitis, indigestion and gout. Many early baths, including this Turkish bath, were what was called fill and empty baths. What this meant was that first-class swimmers swam earlier in the day in the clean water, and then swimming got cheaper towards the evening as the water got dirtier. More public bathhouses began to be established in Scotland from the 1850s onwards, following the enactment of the 1846 Act to encourage the establishment of public baths and wash houses. Industrialisation, overcrowding and unhealthy working conditions meant that bathhouses were seen as an essential resource for the population.
Victoria baths here in Leith were opened in the 1890s. There was quite different customers from the private baths because many Leith homes didn't have their own bathrooms. So as well as a swimming pool, there were private baths and also laundry facilities.
The individual baths remained in use up to the 1970s.